Good evening, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a great Friday evening. Here, serious hair that I had on. So, down, look up, different camera angle. So, hopefully, you are tuning in to. Man, I think I need some better lighting in here. I think for this 100th show, I think we should definitely we're going to be looking to step things up here going forward. So thanks for all for tuning in again. It is our biggest happy hour in a half an hour on Thursday nights. So hopefully you like that new little intro that we got going on there while you wait the 2 minutes. I know we had a little slow start there, and Facebook didn't send notifications out, so I'm not sure what's going on there. So thanks for all for tuning in, and let's get this party started. So what we got going on here. So let's just go jump right into our favorite segment there where we find out some weird shit about all of the folks that tune in and find out. All right. So you know what time it is. We go through and play our fun little game called What the Florida. All right. So there's our What the Florida deck of cards there. See you there. Nothing trick, nothing up my sleeve. So let's see who's all hanging out here in the chat. Go ahead and give us a shout out, and we'll give you let's say hi to y'all for tuning in here tonight. Again, maybe some folks are really tuning into the June 6th hearings that are on primetime TV, and which I guess is more interesting than watching me. So here you're not going to get any bullshit and anything like that. So you're getting straight up going on here. So what's going on, Tony? So check out the let's give a big shout out here to our boy, our homeboy Tony. Tony, I promise I'm trying to working on getting up to North Carolina. Let's give a little shout out here to Mr. Tony Erston there uh home from up in North Carolina here. Let me give him a little applause. Right up there, up on our shelf, up on the bar there. Anyone whose rums are on these shelves here who are part of our alums or part of the show, or we call them friends of the show there. So there's our Kill Devil rum, white rum. And there is the pecan. So right there, pecan, and this is 80 proof. So there, two rums. Check it out. Go check out Kill Devil rum. So definitely, that's I couldn't find it for a second because it was high. It was up on the top shelf. There, it was on the second shelf up on the shelf there. So yeah. So let's go ahead and tune in here. We're gonna go play this real quick. Maybe we'll have a little bit of Kill Devil rum. Actually, we got a lot of stuff to talk about here. All right. So let's see what our card is for this week for What the Florida. And I see some of you, I know some of these questions that we're asking on these deck of cards are getting really interesting. And I don't see a whole lot of people want to, I guess, share a lot of personal information, but come on, let's have fun. This is what about the Facebook group and our top contributors. People are, contributing in the group and win some fabulous prizes. I got prizes here. I'm going to start calling them the unclaimed prizes because I got a few folks that are here in Florida that I need to meet up or get with. So maybe after so many days, the prizes go back in the pool. So maybe I'll have to let them know about that. I'm not going to mention any names and call them out though, but maybe I have to. So all right, so here is our question for tonight for our What the Florida. What's the best inside joke you've been a part of? Ooh, that's a good one. So what's the best inside joke you've been a part of? All right, so we're going to keep this card propped up right here, right here. All right, well, hopefully I don't make a mess there and drop the bottle. I'd be really mad. You want to see me kind of lose it? I probably would get really mad if I dropped any of these bottles over the edge of the bar. But anyway, so all right, so yeah, so there it is. So needs to be okay. We need to be which one? Which one do you want me to go with? All right, I'm gonna take and make it easier because you'll probably see either one. Put in our nice small little sniffing glass there. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the pecan. All right. There it is. Kill Devil Run. Go check them out up in North Carolina, up in the Kill Devil area there. So I said we are planning. We are got to work on it. Again, I want to try to be a lot more fun thought, think through some of these endeavors and trips and so forth that we do and plan. So we got some big plans going forward. Now that we've hit our 100th episode, we have plans to connect and grow with a podcast with some other fellow podcasters and content creators to really grow. More information to come soon over the next month or so. I might take a break from the podcast for a little bit while we focus on retooling some of the stuff and expanding. I'm looking forward to getting a lot more creative and teaming up with some people to bring some cool content, possibly some new podcast also that might be in the crime genre. So true crime genre, which apparently is really hot. So how do we figure that? Well, stay tuned. You got to stay tuned more. I don't want to give you all the secrets. So here we go. Here's Tony. Here's to you, Tony. Here's some Kill Del Rum Pecan. Mm. Oh man, it's got a great taste there. So check it out. I'm gonna savor. I'm not gonna shoot it. Right? Who really shoots good rum? Right? I mean, yeah, I guess as somebody who sells rum, you want somebody to drink a lot of it as quick as possible. So there you go. So it's going down my gullet. There you go. There it is. Man, you can taste that pecan. That is awesome. So check it out for those who are not familiar. Give some love to Tony and the guys and the folks over at Kill Devil Rum to learn more. So all right. So there was our question. That's the first time we're going to read it. We'll read two more times within the show here, and we'll go into it. So hopefully, like I said, you liked a little bit of intro. I'm trying to keep stepping our game up here, or a little bit show production here. The little intro video there while you're waiting. So we'll get to it. Got a little music there, so you're just not staring at a countdown clock. But we'll go through it there. So, all right. So what do we got here up next? Yeah. So what have we done this past week? What's going on? And this past week, Tuesday, we hit our 100th episode. 2 years later, 100th episode. I was hoping to do something a little different, I think, but sometimes things don't turn out the way you hope. And, and then they end up actually turning out better than you thought was going to happen. We were planning something else for the 100th episode, and we did a little bit of regroup and brought another episode up forward. And that episode was with Richland Rum, Eric Vonk, the owner. And here's some of their rum there. This is their single estate virgin coastal Georgia rum. So ends up, it was a great episode. Had a great time talking there, learning about the history, how they got into rum, traveling around the world. I got a lot of really great comments for folks that have checked out that episode that I taped with Eric. Again, I love talking to people. I'm not an interesting, some people say I'm like the most interesting man. I'm not the most interesting man. I find people that are more interesting. And that's really what it is. It's the guests. It's the people we talk to, right? I don't know everything. I learn a lot from our guests. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, I love it. Have fun and meeting great people. I'll become part of the alum. But yeah, so yeah, we checked out episode 100. Eric Bong, check it out if you haven't too. I'll also get the video of that podcast there where we taped. Really great background. I got more stuff and content I got to do at home. Hopefully, I'm trying to decide if I put it up on YouTube, share it, or maybe put it up on Patreon. Some exclusive content that we've got where we've done some of these tours and trips that we do. Still trying to figure some of these things out. For now that we've got 2 years and 100 episodes under the belt, and how to go forward. So, all right. So that is that. And again, as I mentioned, this is a 100th episode, and just some kind of really cool and interesting facts. So here we are, about 2 years. I know I'm a little bit more of a small time, growing gradually podcaster. We're not Joe Rogan, at least maybe yet. But ever since we started this podcast over March of 2020, we've got 8,293 downloads as of right now. And that is over the course, as I mentioned, and some really cool things, all since the beginning of the start of all this, we've had people listening from all over the world, places, countries, places like obviously the U.S. That's our biggest listener group, and the United Kingdom is our next group. But France and Germany, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, India, Netherlands, Singapore, Spain, Brazil, Mexico, Ireland. I got somebody listening in Russia. I'm not sure who that is. That worries me a little bit. Belgium, Uganda. You got ten downloads from somebody in Uganda. Um, I don't know what the difference between Russia and Russia Federation. So I'm not sure. Japan, um, I can't even say that word. Sri Lanka. But yeah, this is I'm just really blown away. I look at this map that is on my podcast uh, platform that I host everything on, and just looking at this little map here on the screen, there is a download in every continent, and I really think that is so cool. And I'm just again just amazed and appreciative of everyone who's tuned into the podcast there. Every continent but Antarctica. So I don't think they've got anybody down there at the South Pole, um, but they don't even show Antarctica on this little map here, so I'm not sure. So maybe we could try to figure out to get somebody who's a listener down in Antarctica or get them to update the map. So yeah, so I mean, just really cool. I'm totally blown away by the love and so forth for those that tune in there. Putin's checking in. Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting, right? So maybe I can get him on the podcast, and ask him a whole bunch of hard hitting questions about. Well, he'd probably just be drinking vodka, I guess. So, all right. So, what do we got here coming up here? All right. So, again, I'll read this question again here on our What the Florida segment here. All right. So, here's the question. I want you guys to post your answers over in the Facebook group, which is pinned in the chat. So, let's see. What's the best inside joke you've been a part of? And I'm sure we've got some really great stories that y'all will post. So go ahead and I'll read this one more time. Again, you post your comments over there in the Facebook Drums and Rums Facebook group and kind of share some kind of thing. And again, it's a great way, an eclectic way to introduce different people that would probably have never crossed paths, whether you're a drummer or you're a rummer or somebody of in between. And then for a lot of those who are maybe new to the rum world and learning about rum other than the two big companies that are out there. Um, and getting a chance to meet some interesting folks, right? That's what it's all about, and as well as musicians and drummers and different things. We got a lot of great drummers that are in part of this group who are part of the alums. And again, if you're looking to get into drums or you got somebody who might be looking at, we got a lot of great people that do teaching too. So a lot of great guests that we've had on and been part of it. So yeah. So all right. So let me have another sip of my Kill Devil rum, the pecan. Yeah, it's more than just shooting and slamming it down. You gotta, like I said, you really got a great taste of this pecan, right? So yeah, so check it out there. Kill Devil rum. Go buy some. So all right, so what else we got going on here? So again, that's our question we just read. We just talked about the podcast again. I'm not sure yet what we're gonna do for next week. We may just do a break. Getting ready to plan some vacation soon. Last week, here in Florida, we had our first little tropical event that we got the rain we needed. I think everyone has been complaining about getting their grasses dying and need to be watered, and it hasn't rained a whole lot. Well, we're now out of our drought for Florida. You look at the drought map, and those are the kind of storms that you want, or things that you want, where it doesn't necessarily do a whole lot of damage, but brings a lot of rain. And you may have seen on the news, a lot of rain fell down in Miami, flooded. There's people drove their cars through crazy amount of water, and it's like, when do people learn? And I think some of those people actually probably have lived down in that area for a long time. And Miami does get a lot of flooding in certain parts of South Florida. I don't know, just it's like, well, I'm glad I drive a truck. So, let's see, I posted. All right, so Charlene posted her answer to the question there of the what Florida. So, all right, so here we go. So, what do we got coming up next? We have coming up next your other great segment that you love going through, and it's called Our Florida Man Story. So here we go. So if you saw the title of this podcast, this video show, it was called There's More Ways to Get Ahead in Life. So I actually had a lot of people text me this news story. And again, this is a recent news story. And so hopefully you got no kids in the room here. It is a little bit of a risque kind of story, but here we go. So this is our segment for Florida Man. Maybe we need some intro music for this one here too. So all right, so here we go. Here's our Florida Man story. All right, so there's more way to get ahead in life. So here's the story. So this just happened. I said this last week here down in Fort Lauderdale area. It was a head-on collision, literally. A distracted Florida man was receiving oral sex smashed directly into a FedEx truck in Fort Lauderdale last Thursday, injuring his groin. The unidentified man and his female companion were both found partially naked after the collision just before 7 p.m., according to reports. Images from the post-crash chaos show the front ends of both vehicles being badly damaged at a busy intersection with 4 people sitting or lying down nearby. One of the victims can be seen lying on the ground with her pants around her ankles as officers tend to her. Rescue officials said the driver sustained an unspecified injury to his groin due to the circumstances of the crash. However, the SUV's driver's penis was nearly bitten off, according to the Daily Mail, presumably because of the impact his companion did bite down. The driver, the FedEx driver, and a passenger also suffered minor injuries. It was unclear if the charges should be filed against the driver or the passenger. And yeah, so but wait, there's more to the story. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time someone got into a car crash due to vehicular fellatio. Ooh, that's a catchy. That might be a new band name, maybe. In more serious accident last June, California construction worker was allegedly drunk high and receiving oral sex when he reportedly backed into his pickup truck into a group of 3 patrons sitting outside of a San Jose bar, killing one. Ooh. Meanwhile, a Florida couple made headlines in November after having oral sex in the back of a cop car. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm just reading what it says. Having oral sex in the back of a cop car with the woman yelling F50 during the recorded romp. Okay, that's some gangster stuff. You know, you're getting it on in the back of the police car and you're saying F the 50. Okay. So yes, so you want to read more about this story, it's out there. I'm reading this actually straight from the New York Post. So you know if it's made it to New York Post and a whole bunch of other places, you know people learn. This is how people learn about Florida, and I think now we've become, as we know, the joke of the whole world. It's not even just the country anymore, but it's the whole world. So here you go to unnamed fellatio receiver guy. Here's to you for getting ahead in life. Here's to you, our Florida man. Cheers. So I love to Tansy gone wild. Yeah, I know Tansy was just down here and just this past week, so he was Florida man for a little bit. I don't know. If we got any good stories? I think Mike the cop. Yeah. So if those of you may know Eric Tansy that Tony is referring to, he was on the Happy Hour show back in, I think it was December, and he's got a show called Failure to Stop. They're doing quite a few different shows now on their podcast platform and their channel with Mike the cop, 2 former law enforcement officers giving their perspective of cases and different things that are in the news, and they try to break it down in a unbiased and unjudged and straight from the facts and take emotions out of the stories. So definitely check it out. They're happy to see their success. They're really hitting it out of the park, and they're really crushing, their platform and the categories that they're podcasting. So definitely check it out there. So hey, there's Mike Dvorak. Yeah, Mike, I was just talking about giving away your stuff there. I've got unclaimed prizes to give away here that people aren't picking. It's like lost and found. After 60 days, it goes back in there. So there was actually a light plane crash years ago. Some circumstances. Oh, so yes. So yes, I guess it even happens in an airplane too. So, but usually if that happens in an airplane, I guess aren't you just in the sky? I mean, what are you going to hit in the sky unless you could dive and drop too low, right? So unless you're trying to land that plane, but I don't know, man. I Does anybody want to care to admit to having gotten some vehicular fellatio? I'd like to see that one. Maybe that should have been the what the Florida question was to say. Have you ever received any type of what do they call? What is the word? Sexual encounter while in a vehicle, moving or not. So I guess that's a moving violation. Is it? I don't know. Cockpit. Yeah, there you go. Boom. Do I have the rim shot? No. Oh, no, I do. There we go. There we go. We got the rim shots going on there. So yes, so good one. I had to set that one up real good. So yes, cockpit to get it. Get it. So all right. So there we go. So there is our Florida man story. There's more and more way to get ahead in life. God, that's got to be really embarrassing to have to go through that. And I'm surprised they didn't announce it. Usually they announce somebody's name on when they do this kind of stuff, but I don't know. Let's oh God, that guy's lucky he didn't you know, get chomped down. So yeah, rim job, rim job shot. There you go. Now that would be that takes talent there, Tony. If somebody's getting that done while driving a car, there's a whole lot of questions that I want to know. How are they even doing what you just commented and posted there? If they're having that being done to them, I'm not quite sure how that you can even passenger driver, maybe some in the back seat. Who knows what's going on there? Rim job again. If you're just joining us, tuning in, you just walked into a whole conversation about rim jobs and vehicular fellatios, and we just read the story about our Florida man who was getting some oral sex while driving a car and almost got a bit off John Bobbitt style. So y'all remember John Bobbitt, right? It was he was half the man he used to be, as we used to say, that Stone Temple Pilots song there. So all right, so where's our card? Oh, our card fell down. I wasn't paying attention there. So all right. Anyway, so let's see if you are all paying attention to so somebody can tell me what the question was. I don't want to get off camera to go fetch the card that fell down, but I think it had something to do with tell us your story. That's an inside joke that you're a part of. So keep me honest, guys. Tell me if that was the right. Did I have the right thing on there? So all right. Let's jump back to our full screen here and we'll go back. There we go. So definitely tune in. Again, had a great 100 episodes, 2 years down in the belt. Excuse me. Have met a lot of great people on the podcast. A lot of great stories and a lot of things to share and a lot of alums. That's the great part I love about it is making new alums and connecting people to the show and so forth. What inside joke have you been a part of? There you go. Thank you, Charlene, for answering the question there. And again, look, I didn't have any real technical difficulties tonight. So we had our audio situation figured out after we were doing our live podcast event. So yeah, so hopefully we've got some other, like I said, stay tuned, stay tuned, follow us. We've got a lot of stuff going on here, the podcast. We're going to look to grow. We're going to partner up with some other people, content creators. We really got some real good ideas that I'll still keep doing the drums and rums thing. But we want to add more to it, add more shows, original content to this. So hopefully if you like what I'm doing here and you'll like what we're going to partner up with some of the other content creators that we're going to be involved with. Some of you may already know. There's been some hint here and there over the last couple of weeks. Then hopefully you'll like what we're doing here and, maybe try to get some, work towards some sponsorship or advertising, to offer more shows to advertisers in that space rather than just a single show where we're trying to work together there. So, LOL, maybe it's me not being in the room. Oh, there you go. So anyway, no, I don't think that's it. So yeah, I think that's kind of it for tonight. I mean, again, I know it was a little start late there. I know I had some interesting stuff going on this week that may have prevented me from getting the invite out there. But hopefully, I'll watch these later. People tune in, and we'll have more folks on too. So I mean, again, going forward, I appreciate everyone who tunes into the show. Hopefully, you get a chance. I'm try to put more things out there in the Patreon site that I have. I do actually finally got it set up. I have a single entry tier set up just to kind of help support the podcast if you find it interesting. And we got some merch ideas coming too soon if you're interested in that. But again, that's me juggling this pretty much by myself. And again, looking to hopefully partner up to kind of get a few more folks to help do some of this stuff and so forth. Anybody like koozies? I think I finally gave in to accept the fact that even though rum drinkers aren't really koozie, typically koozie drinkers, or koozie users. There you go. Say that 10 times fast. But I think I finally have gotten over that, and I've seen another rum-related thing where they do have koozies. Actually, it was up when I was in Richland, Georgia. couple weeks ago at the the shop at the distillery up there, and I saw they had koozies with Richland rum, and I said, okay. I said if they can have koozies, and as a rum, they are a rum company, rum distiller, rum maker, then I'll go ahead and dive into it too. Everybody loves a koozie; they're pretty inexpensive to make and so forth. So I don't know, Tony, if you're still in there, do you guys have koozies at the distillery there for Kill Devil rum? I don't know. Hopefully, if you're in the chat there still, if you can let me know. Kind of interesting. So, but yeah, that's kind of like I said. That's kind of the week here we've had so far. We've had some talk about 100th episode. Hopefully, you've checked that out. A great episode. It's also available on YouTube if you want to watch the video format version of it too. Learned a lot from Eric Funk, the owner. Great people. Great hospitality was up in Georgia. Really great stuff that they're doing up there. Really injecting, economic into a very rural part of Georgia, and bringing some revenue into there, some jobs, obviously the taxes, etc. And it was really great to see. And they had a very similar. And I don't Tony, if you're we sell a ton of. There you go, cool. All right, so if Tony's doing it, then I'm going to do it too. Um, um, but what was and Tony, I don't know if we talked about this in the past, was regarding the challenges with just distilling and making rum, selling it, and the distribution, and the challenges with distributing your rum, and so forth. I don't know if that's have very similar problems in North Carolina like they do here in Florida, where they have to go through the three-tier system, and they did pass a law last year here in Florida that allows distilleries to sell on premise their own product, which was a big win for distilleries, and not have to it was an opportunity for them to make a little bit more money rather than having to go out of their distillery back to the store. And then, it's kind of crazy. You think that we live in that sense. We sell, okay, you still sell a ton of, okay. But yeah, apparently that was the same thing too in Richland. There was a store across the street from the distillery that sold alcohol. So when they had one of the state representatives come visit them, one of them, the representative had asked, well, what is that store across the street? Is that you guys? And he said, no, that's some other company. So basically, that some other company across the street could sell the alcohol. They're right across the street from the distillery. So that bottle of rum that you would buy in this store right across the street, not affiliated to the distillery, would get sent from the distillery, I guess, up to the distribution center in Atlanta or wherever it was, and then ended up coming back to Richland to go into that store. And that was all because of distribution. And it's like the House of Representative said, that's crazy. We got to do something about that because it doesn't make sense. And it doesn't. There's a lot of these regulations that just don't make sense. So I don't know. A lot of these are old, archaic laws and so forth. We can talk offline, but it's crazy. Yeah. Okay. No worries. So, all right. So very similar. Everyone seems to have that problem. Maybe there's a way to, I don't know if there's any, it's going to be probably a mountain to kind of fight against that. So, but yeah, so that's why hopefully these kinds of things, this show, the Drums and Rums podcast, kind of makes a lot of people more aware. Look, it happens for all the spirits, not just rum, but hopefully more people become aware and realize some of these things are really stupid, and hopefully they pass some new laws and to take some of that barrier of entry to get your products into your hands, because I know it's a challenge, and all these craft distilleries are all in the same boat, trying to get out there. The big companies have a huge hold. The big distributors have a huge hold and can, really, I don't want to say make or break, but really hold all the cards, unfortunately, on that. So, but yeah, for sure. So again, that's what we had going on this week. We hit 100 episodes. Thank you all for, supporting the podcast from whether it was day one or today. Check out the podcast. Again, we keep growing more and more. I've got a lot of other interesting show ideas for the podcast, other interesting guests I want to have on. We are, and again, a lot of other new content we're looking at doing as well. I love talking to these, companies, whether it's Kill Devil, Richland, or companies here in Florida. I want to do more trips and visit more distilleries. I just talked to another company here just yesterday. It's in Florida. They're kind of, got some things, and a lot of people, seem like everybody started a distillery or making rum just right before the pandemic and had to go through that. Supply chain issues. Everyone's got those issues. I mean, it's a real thing, and it's happening all across. But when you're actually the one selling a product, that's your biggest impact. So I don't know. I think that's all I got for tonight. Again, I appreciate everyone tuning in. I think if there's anything else going on, check, follow, subscribe, rate, review the podcast. Go over to Apple, go over to Spotify. You can now rate podcast too. Review the podcast. Go to Apple if you're an Apple person. Go over there, rate and review and subscribe. That helps out. If you want to support the podcast through Patreon, there's Patreon, patreon.com/drums and rums, YouTube, and I don't know. Hopefully you enjoy what we're doing here. Find me entertaining, and I guess, and I bring people that are more informative than I am. And yeah, looking to do new things. Maybe Cigar City will finally, maybe this, yeah, going forward, they'll hook us up with some Florida Man beer. That supporting that part of the segment, and you know, appreciate Tony checking in there. Thanks, sir. And again, definitely check out this pecan rum. I'm telling you, man, if you're definitely a pecan person, this is the rum you want to get. So you definitely taste it in your in this. I'm not sure. I'm sure check out Kill Devil's website. I'm sure Tony, right? You've probably got some really good recipes, drink recipes to go with your rum there. So there we go. So that is, I think, all I've got. Definitely check out all the things. Support all of the podcast alums that we've had on and the different products that they produce, etc. And make sure you go ahead and post your answer to the question that we had over in the Facebook group. That's how we grow it. That's how we'll support giveaways and have fun. And as I always call, let's grow together. If you're a brand that's part of this podcast and all the craziness that we do, let's grow together, share our brands, and then help promote each other. So, and bring everybody together. I know not everybody's competing against each other. Like I said, it's all against the two big guys that got the big lion's share of the market, right? So that is all I got for tonight. Hopefully, if you're just tuning in, go back and watch the replay. Go over watch the video of me and Eric, the latest 100th episode, over on Facebook or YouTube, and I think that might be it actually. So unless I'm not forgetting something, I think that might be it. So again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. Have a great night. Get ready for the weekend, and hopefully be safe and drink some rum. I'll talk to y'all. Have a great night. Thanks.